to. As you can see, this is the Mundane Mastery Summit. I decided to come up with this. It was really at the last second because I've been thinking about a couple of things for a while now. And I decided that I wanted to do a back to back kind of thing and really tie the both of them together. Today, we're going to be talking about leadership. It's the first level to mastering the mundane is mastering your leadership. And that's going to be a big one. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, trust. But tomorrow, tomorrow is the sauce. Tomorrow is the sauce because we're going to talk about, you see, a lot of times we talk about the keys to success. We talk about the keys to success. We have the call every week, but tomorrow I'm going to be talking about the 5 master keys to get anything you want in this business. Today, that's tomorrow. Today, we're going to talk about the 5 characteristics of leadership. So if you're ready to get into it, go ahead and type some ones for me in the chat box. If you're ready to get into it, let me make sure everything's right, everything copacetic. Yep, everything copacetic. Let's get into it. First level is your awareness. We talk about this a lot, but I'm going to go more into depth on a different perspective of awareness. See, because as a leader, the first thing you have to understand is who you are, for one. Who you are, for one, because a leader, obviously, is somebody that leads people. But we're not necessarily going to talk about leading people right now. We're going to talk about being worth leading, being worth following. That's the better way to put it. See, the first thing you have to be aware of is who you are, because nobody follows anybody that doesn't know where they're going and doesn't know who they are. So that's the first thing you have to become aware of, because guess what? Every single person on this call, all 18 of you, are royalty. I'm not going to get too much into detail, but all 18 of you on this call need to realize who you are. Royalty. You are magnificent beings. You are supernatural. That's the thing. We talk about, the spiritual side. We talk about the natural side, but you are supernatural. You are not a natural being. You are a supernatural being. You're not average. And you got to realize that as it pertains to leadership and being aware of where you are in the networks. You have to realize your self-worth, because how can somebody value you enough to follow you if you don't follow yourself? And the only way you follow yourself is if you think that you're worth following. You have to value yourself before others can value you. It's that simple. And the easiest way to doing that is just realizing that you're royalty. Realizing that you are a supernatural being. You don't play the same game as everybody else. You're a leader, remember? You don't play the same games as everybody else. You don't live the same life as everybody else. You got to realize you 17, 18, 19-year-old putting yourself in a position to get rich. Most people 17, 18, 19 years old are putting themselves in positions to have lung cancer and eating out of trash cans. You got to think about that. Think about where you are. Become aware of where you are. And that's the next thing we're going to talk about. That's the next thing we're going to talk. No, next thing we're going to talk about is the state of your heart. The state of your heart is what you have to be aware of. That's the next thing you have to be aware of. And what I mean by the state of your heart is your openness and your attachment. I hope you're taking notes. When it comes to being aware of the state of your heart, you have to be aware of 2 things: your openness, and your attachment. See, because a lot of people, what they do is they'll attach themselves with this leadership position that they're not exactly ready for. Not in the sense that you may have all the skills. You may can run the mess out of PS3, run the mess out of some PS Me. You can body a webinar. You can body, the different calls that we have. But nobody is gonna follow you if your heart is not open to following. Nobody will. You can have all the structure you want. You can have all the skills that you want. But if your heart is not open to being followed, if your heart is not open to the hearts of others, you're defeating the purpose. You'll never get anywhere in leadership without your heart being open. We talk about heart work. Some people, they categorize heart work as calling a team. Heart work goes way beyond calling your team. You want to know what real hard work is? To be able to call somebody on the phone. This is real hard work. You call somebody on the phone, and one, your heart is open to that person, and two, your heart is attached to that person, and the connection lies there. See, I said on one of the calls I did before, I don't remember which one it was, but I said the hearts of people are the network of your spirituality. The hearts of people are the network of your spirituality. So if you call yourself doing heart work, if you call yourself being open, why are some of y'all bricks? Like, I honestly don't get it. Like, some people, they'll say they doing hard work. They say they really in leadership. This thing keep activated. They say they're really in leadership, but they're bricks. Nobody likes them. The heart isn't open to leadership. In order for me to effectively lead you, my heart needs to have a connection to yours. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will always speak. I'm going to be teaching on that Sunday. And you have to realize that as a leader, you have to become aware of the state of your heart, because guess what? If your heart is not open to having followers, to be stable enough, if your heart is not stable enough to lead, you cannot lead. It is a gathering of the broken. See, sometimes for people to be ready for leadership, they have to build what's already there. They have to sweep up the cracks of what's already there in order to effectively lead. See, your heart has to not only be open to leadership, be connected and attached to the people that you're leading, but it also has to have the fortitude to withstand the leadership itself, because it's not easy. Going down where somebody is and making that connection to them and bringing them up is not easy. And if your heart is not in the right place as far as the togetherness, it is just a gathering of the broken, not leadership. So next thing you got to be aware of is aware of your surroundings as it pertains to your network. You have to know where it is that you are as far as leadership in your network. You can be a 2 and free. You could be a P150. You could be a customer with the leadership of a Platinum 2000 in your network. I don't know if y'all caught that. You could be a customer with the leadership position, rather, that's the better way to put it, with the leadership position of a P2000 in your network. You have to be aware, and I'll get into how that works here in a second, but you have to be aware of where you are in the network. Are you at the top of the network? Are you one of the leaders? Are you one of the top people in the network? Are you somewhere in the middle? You're not necessarily at the top, but you're not necessarily at the bottom either. Are you at the bottom? Are you just starting out in your leadership journey? You have to be aware of where you are so that you can effectively expand from where you are currently. See, because we are 360-degree leaders. We lead in every direction that we are in, but we cannot effectively lead in every direction if we do not know where we are. See, that's like, no, I'm not going to get into that. But just know, you cannot expand where you do not know that you are. So you have to be aware of where you are in the network so you can effectively expand outwards. Next thing you have to be aware of, this is just the preface on get the awareness out of the way. You have to be aware of, you have to be aware of your followers. And what I mean by being aware of your followers is just the simple fact that you have to know who you're leading. You have to know where they are. Not only do you have to know where you are, but you have to know where they are, because you got to know where to go. And we're just talking about awareness right here. I have a couple things that I wanted to, I had written down here, and I'm gonna just blow through them because I want to get into the rest of this. You have to be aware of your perspective, because not only does your heart have to be ready for leadership, but your mind has to be ready for leadership as well. I was watching, and this reminded me so much of the business. I was watching a movie last night called Jupiter Ascending. I don't know if y'all seen it or whatever, but something I don't know what it is about this business, but I don't see nothing the same no more. I always I don't know what it is, but I was watching the movie, and one of the characters said something. One of the characters said something, and it really put my mind in perspective. Keyword said, Jupiter. She said, "How can one single person own an entire planet?" And then the other character said, "What are you talking about? It's just a planet." Like, I was like, huh? I was like, it's just a planet? Like, it kind of made me think a little bit. I was like, you know what? That's perspective right there. And she said, and it was crazy. She says, when you have access to the resources and the vast openness of the universe, one single planet is the least of your worries. And sometimes as leaders, we have to really put ourselves in check with our perspective, because sometimes our perspective isn't big enough for the leadership that we desire. See, sometimes we want to lead on such a small scale, but our leadership capability can be something much larger. See, we may want planet leadership. We may want city leadership, but our capability is state leadership. We may want state leadership, but our capability is, country leadership. We may want country leadership, but our capability may be international leadership. We may want international. Well, I'm not even gonna go there, but you get the picture. We may have planet. We want planet leadership, but our capability is universal leadership. So we really have to check our perspective as it pertains to, where it is that we're going. We're going to talk about where it is that we're going later on, but just check your perspective, because sometimes your mind can be thinking too small. We talk about think much bigger, much sooner. And that also pertains to your perspective. See, once you have a large perspective, once you enlarge your perspective, you cannot go back to your original perspective. Once you see the space, once you see another, what's it called? Once you see another solar system, you never look at yours the same. Once you look at another state, you never look at your state the same, because you always know that there's something else out there. So you really need to expand your perspective. We're going to talk about expansion a lot towards the end, because it's important for every leader to expand where it is they are. Last thing I'm going to talk about as far as awareness is your knowledge and where you're going opposed to where you are right now. So with leadership, especially as it pertains to this, there's always, not always, but most of the time, there's going to be a knowledge gap between what you know and what your people know. It's not necessarily a transfer of knowledge first. See, you are the leader. The first thing you need to transfer is belief. And the rite of passage to transferring anything is your heart. That's why I talked about your heart first. That's the real hard work. See, the only way to effectively lead is to transfer the information needed through your heart, because somebody can only, how do I want to put this? Somebody can only test your knowledge and test your words of authenticity through the state of your heart. Because guess what? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will always speak. You can tell a lot about the state of a person's heart by what they say. So you need to be aware of the knowledge gap and what you're going to do to bridge that gap. So you don't want to just go spewing knowledge all over everywhere to the people that you may be leading, to your organization. You don't want to just do that. That's the wrong way to go, because not a lot of people, one, are not even going to believe it. So you have to transfer belief first. See, remember, you're not throwing down the rope and bringing people where you are. You're going down there and you're climbing with them. So with that being said, you have to put yourself in their shoes. They do not have your belief. They don't have your knowledge. So you have to transfer that first. All this business is a transfer of belief. Once you believe, you can do anything. Literally, tell me if I'm wrong. This business has stages of incremental belief. As you climb the ladder of belief, you start to do different things, because I'm going to just leave it at that. When you were a P150, you believed I was a P150. You maybe chairman was a little fantasy. It was starting to become more of a reality, but it was still a fantasy. You got to P600, yo, I got 12 people in my org now. Like, you start to believe in the compensation plan a little bit more. But watch P1000, you almost halfway to chairman. It starts to get more real. You start to say, oh, it's just chairman. It's just a planet. And I guarantee you, Mr. Kobe Watson can attest. Mr. Chairman Rudy can attest. You got to P2000, chairman is around the corner. It's not a fantasy no more. It's like, yo, like this is around the corner. And ain't no black folk time neither. It's legit around the corner. Platinum 5000, you knocking on the door. And as you climb the ladder of incremental belief, you start to do more because it feels better. But now we're going to talk about the second characteristic of understanding. That was only the first part. Wow. Is you need to understand. You need to pride yourself on understanding. See, understanding is more powerful than instruction. I can tell you what to do, but you'll never do it as effectively as the intention that I told you it with if you don't understand why you need to do it. That's just like, think of yourself as an Olympian. I can tell you to run, but that gold medal is going to be more incentive for you to run than my instruction, because you know why you're running. You're running for that gold. You're running for the title. And it's like that on every level. You have to pride yourself on understanding your people, understanding your role of influence, understanding your role, your placement in the network. Pride yourself on understanding, because once you understand, you can now effectively move. We talk about moving effectively. Shout out to Mr. Chairman Rudy. He talked about effectiveness. We have to be effective. It's not always about doing something. It's about doing something with effectiveness. Next thing we have to understand is we have to understand leadership. See, a lot of people, they get that title, they get that tag, but they don't even know that there's levels to this. Like, there's legit levels. There's 5 levels of leadership. You can go look at John Maxwell. There's legit levels. And you have to understand what leadership is and where you are in your leadership. Because all leadership is influence. And that brings me to my next point. All leadership is influence. Influence over your people. I'm sorry, I got my notes right here. I had to write it down because it was on my phone. Biggest one is your influence of the heart. Now, I talk about heart a lot because, like I said, the hearts of the people are your network. The hearts of the people. It's not necessarily the people themselves. The people's mind themselves is their heart. That's really what you're changing. That's really all you're changing is your heart. Not your mind is cool. Your mind is just that awareness piece of it. But once you start to change your heart, you start to really feel it. You start to really live it because it becomes second nature. See, it's one thing to shift the paradigm. Matter of fact, it's probably one of the easiest things you can do is shift the paradigm. But what's much harder is changing the nature of somebody's heart. That's much harder, especially today in these times. And that is what leadership is. When you look at the best leaders in I Am Academy, when you look at the people that, exude these characteristics, even the 2 or 3 I just went over, who do you think of? I guarantee you it's 3 people automatically that come to mind. Automatically. Di, Justin Owens, and Riyadh. Told you. You didn't have to tell me. And that's just in my opinion. In my opinion. Maybe Matt Rosa and Jason Brown. But I don't really see that as much from them. But when you really look at not only shifting somebody's paradigm, but shifting the way somebody's heart works, you think of those 3. I can almost guarantee it. And there's a reason why. It's because they understand that a shifted paradigm can only go so far. Ultimately, a shifted paradigm can only go so far. It's only until somebody's paradigm matches the way that their heart works that it really starts to sink in. That you really get a changed person. When you change somebody from where they are, from the person that they were, to the person of their dreams, that is leadership. It's not necessarily what somebody knows. There's information everywhere. You can we go on YouTube every night. There's information everywhere. But there's not hard work everywhere. See, John, that's another one. There's not hard work everywhere. You don't see a lot of hard work in some of these organizations that really, take people from where they were and changing them. Like, you can see it unto the person of their dreams. That's leadership. Taking somebody from where they are to the person of their dreams. So how do you influence somebody? What are the levels of influence? One of the first ones starts with you. Like, Influence isn't something that you force. You can't force influence. It's something that naturally happens. And the first one is your integrity. The first way to influence somebody is by your integrity. When people look at you, what do they see? Do they see somebody that's, you know, just doing it just to do it? Do they see somebody that cuts corners? Do they see somebody that's got that scammer mentality? Do they see somebody that's, you know, they know that they shouldn't be doing this, but they're doing it anyway? Do they see somebody that they know the rules, but they just don't follow them anyway? When your people look at you, what do they see integrity wise? When you cut off the camera and you get on the phone, what do they hear? From the time, let's say that I pick up the phone Tuesday on somebody. Thursday, what do they see? Do they see an improvement? Do they see stagnancy? Or do they see a regression? What do they see? Because I always said this, but I really didn't know what it was. I always said people had a cap meter. They knew when people were capping, but I didn't have my finger on what it was. It's your heart. Like, I don't know what it is. I guess I haven't read enough books or I haven't watched enough audios yet. But it's just something about the heart of somebody that's under your influence or could be under your influence that can just tell when something is off. And it all starts with your integrity because people can sense your integrity. Like I said, the hearts of people are the network to your spirituality. You connect with people not by the mind, but by the heart. You can't you can only transfer mentally so much until you tap into the heart. And that's where people's cap meter lies. So people's heart can tell when you out here capping about how much you make or your intention of your leadership. That's why I spent 30 minutes on awareness because you have to be aware of the state of your heart so that you can effectively lead the people, so you can effectively be open and attached to the heart of your network. You can't do that if your heart is not in the right state because people can tell. Why do you think? Why do you think some of the four people that I mentioned? Why do you think that they're the way that they are? Why people naturally gravitate towards them? Naturally, C. John is a chairman 10, but he has the influence of a 750. Why do you think that is? Because of his heart. Riyadh is a chairman 50. He's been a chairman 50 for 2 years. But why do you think he has the influence of a chairman 100, chairman 500? Because of his heart, because of his influence. What is the beginning? What is the foundation of your leadership? What is the foundation of your influence? It's trust. People have to trust you in order to follow you. Trust is the foundation of influence. People have to trust you. People have to feel safe. I talked about this on the EE Mastermind. Shout out to that. Shout out to the Mastermind. But I said that you are a supernatural being having a natural experience. So in order for you to really be a leader, you need to be a safe place for people to escape reality and realize who they are. Realize, bro, that was last week. I didn't even think about that when I came up with this. You have to be an escape for people to escape reality. And that's why I said you have to have the heart fortitude in order to, hold that. Because when people escape reality, oftentimes they're heavy. They're heavy. They don't they start to be aware. They start to realize what it is that they've been holding, like what's been holding them back this whole time. Like that's really the key to this whole joint, is being a safe place for people to escape reality. And in order for them to do that, they have to trust you. That's why a lot of people, they don't really get too far with leadership and influence, is because people cannot trust them. Because oftentimes they don't even trust themselves. That's why they're not in the next level. You don't trust yourself at the next level. So that's why you're not at the next level. So if you don't trust yourself, how can people trust you? Make it make sense. Like, think about it. If something were to happen, let's say I'm gonna use this analogy. We all was in high school sometime in the in the past. We all was in high school, and at my particular high school, I don't know why we did this. It was weird, but we said if something were to happen, where would you go? Like if something were to happen at the school, where would you go? And some people, they say, "Oh, I'm gonna go to this teacher's classroom. I'm gonna go to that teacher's classroom." That's just like boom, like uh, if you out in the hallway, think about this. Think about this right quick. You in high school and you have access in all directions, a classroom of your choice. And let's say that they got on the announcements and they called a lockdown drill. Whose class would you go to? That's what you have to be as a leader. Is when people are in the hallway and they get on the intercom and call a lockdown, you have to be a safe place for that person. And in order for them to choose your classroom, they have to trust you the most. That's it right there. They have to trust you the most in order for you to go to their class, in order for them to go to your classroom. That's it. Next thing is your character. Your character tells the whole story, and that really feeds off of your integrity. Your character is just who you are. Your integrity is how you think. Your character is who you are. And that's another thing people can tell. People can just sense when people are just not it. Like they get in the organization, they say, "Nah, this ain't it." Mm-mm. And you know what people's favorite phrase is? The vibe is off. I never really understood that. I was like, how is somebody vibe off? Like, how can you, like, how is your vibe off? Like, how does that happen? But that's people's favorite phrase. I don't like the vibes in here. The vibes is off. Like, imagine this. Your character is like being in a, is that right? No, I'm not gonna say that. But your character is just who you are. You have to be the right person in order to have the right followers, to have the right network. You have to. Next thing is you have to empower people. See, not only do you have to be the right person, but you not only do you have to be a safe space, but you also have to be a person of empowerment. Because people want to feel safe, but people also want to feel strong. People don't like feeling weak. Never. Name a person that likes feeling weak. So you have to empower them. Once you transfer your belief, once you transfer your belief, your empowerment gives them the will to carry out what it is they're doing. If there's that their vision or whatever the case may be. But when you empower people, it's basically the same thing as saying speaking life into people. That's what you have to do. Once they feel safe with you, you got to have a reason for them to continue to feel safe, and it's because they're empowered. People go where people are appreciated. You cannot empower somebody if you don't appreciate their presence. You can't speak life into something without you having life yourself. That's why I said the state of your heart is crucial. If your heart is not in the right place, this you can get off the training now. Matter of fact, stay on the training so you can fix it. That's the whole point is your heart has to be in the right place. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will always speak. Next, after you empower, you have to develop. Because you can empower somebody. Like I can I can I can give steroids to a dude, but I can't make him lift. I can I can I can genetically splice, the best human being that ever lived, but I can't make him use the power. And that all comes with development. Not only do you have to develop yourself and develop your heart, but you have to develop the hearts of others. You have to develop so that they can develop to develop. Develop yourself so that you can develop them, so that they can develop, so they can develop others. The whole point. Growth. You have to understand the power of growth. This is the fourth one. Because, and Rudy, we kind of coming from the same place. Okay. That's why I was laughing on your training yesterday because I knew we were about to talk about the same thing. You are the lid to your organization in all aspects: leadership, growth, hard work, paradigm shifting, whatever the case may be. You are the lid to your organization. Your organization is never going to outdo you. Truly, truly. Your organization is never going to outdo you, truly. Somebody may be, a rank, you may be the same rank, or you may be, a rank above your mentor, but that's not the same thing. I'm talking about leadership. Because your growth is crucial to your team's growth. Your team does not grow if you don't grow mentally and leadership wise. So not only do you have to listen to the personal development, you have to listen to the personal development so that they can listen to the personal development and they can be developed. But we all know this. We all know this. But you also have to grow on all levels, whether that be position, whether that be productivity, whatever the case may be, you just have to grow. Growth is self-explanatory. I don't really have to explain growth. You just have to pride yourself on growth and not necessarily achievement. You can clear a trade, but that does not mean your account grew, if that makes sense. You can clear a trade, but that does not mean that your account grew. See, I'd rather grow 5% than clear 5 trades. Say that again. I'd rather grow my account 5% every day than clear 5 trades a day. Because just because I clear 5 trades a day does not necessarily mean that my account grew 5%. Because we all know how these brokers are with these payouts. We all know that I can hit take profit 5 times and my account only grow 2%. That's just a reality of things. But I gotta speed through. We don't have too much time left. Next thing, this is a big one. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on this. Dominate your lane. This is a big one. So a lot of people, they want to be on 35. They want to be on the interstate. They want to be on the highway with 5 lanes and want to be, the Honda Civic, just zipping in and out of traffic. That's not what you want to do. You can't be in everybody else's lane, bro. I don't understand that. You can't be in everybody's lane and dominate your own. So you got to stay in your lane. You can't worry about, see me. I'm going to use myself for instance. I can't be worried about what KW does. KW is my mentor, my sponsor. I can't worry about what KW is doing. I can't worry about what KW is doing. As much as I respect him, that's his business, not mine. Granted, I may be in his business, but I have to dominate my lane before I move to another one. You got to think about it. Think about it like this. I'm cruising down the highway. You don't want to get into another lane until you right up on another car because you dominated your lane. See, if I focus on what KW is doing, I can never really truly be effective at what it is that I'm doing. I can't be 120% and I'm giving 20% to KW because I'm worried about what he's doing. I can't worry about what Mr. Rudy, the chairman, is doing. I can't worry about that because I'm supposed to be giving 120. How can I be giving 120 and I'm giving 10 to KW, 10 to Chairman Rudy, 10 to Mr. Marvelous Chairman, 10 to, Miss Bree? It don't work like that. You have to dominate your lane. And the biggest way that I can put this is that you got to make enough noise where people got no choice but to look at you. You got to make enough noise where people got no choice but to hear you. Like on Sundays, we be outside in the parking lot with the speaker going, it be crazy. Like we got speakers all around, and we make enough noise where people got no choice but to listen because we dominate where we are. We may not be able to. We may not have been able to, be inside where we usually are, but we took the fact that we was outside, dominated our lane to the point where people got no choice but to listen. They ain't got no choice in the matter because we dominated our lane. We owned the corner, but we dominated our lane to the point where folk tried to scare us by shooting in the air. Like, what that gonna do? And that's another thing. Bro, I was listening to ET earlier. He really put me on game because he said not only do you have to dominate your lane, but you have to dominate your lane to the point where you eliminate the noise. Like, you cannot dominate your lane if you continue to give out your 120. See, everybody should be going 120 in this business right now. Everybody. You cannot go 120 if you keep giving out worrying about what other people doing, giving energy to the noise, giving energy to your distractions. By the time you start dishing out your energy, you only at 80%. You're supposed to be at 120. You know what? I'm gonna really put it in perspective now. You giving 10 over here, 20 over here, 30 over here. You giving 50% to your org in all different levels. You may be 4 levels deep. You having 5% here, 15% there, 20% here. That's why you ain't moving, because you ain't got enough juice. You dishing out too much energy. You're not dominating your lane. You're not eliminating the silence. You're not eliminating the noise. That's why you can't focus. That's why you can't give 120, because you keep dishing out your energy all over everywhere. Maurice Renano was talking about this just now. What, like Mr. Cherry, what he said? Ain't nobody get that. It's a Marquise, I ain't come here for that. But you have to dominate your lane. Be the best and do the best in your lane before you move to something else. You have to do that. And I've personally struggled with that. Personally. I can't worry about P600 if I haven't dominated P150. If you're a P150, you ought to be the loudest P150 in Elevation Empire. They're going to hear your P150. They're going to hear your 2 and free. You might even have somebody make you a flyer just because you're 2 and free. That's how much you got to dominate your lane. You a 2 and free, but you the best 2 and free in Elevation Empire. My 2 people going to run me up the chairman. That's how you got to. That's just how you got to move. You can't worry about P1000 if you haven't dominated P600. You ought to be the best P600 in Elevation Empire. Where the P600s at, bro? Like, the P600s be the quietest ones. You ain't a P1000, but you ain't a P150. Like, like, yo, you that dude on orders with no cap. But, like, no, we're not trading right now. We're not trading right now. We're going to be talking about trading at 6. We're going to be talking about trading at 6. But look at him. You can't worry about the next level if you haven't dominated. Like, I'm going to let you know this right now. I'm about to dominate P1000. Yeah, I noticed you just doing. I'm gonna cut you some slack. We're not talking about trading right now. We're gonna talk about trading that shit. We're talking about some mindset right now. But I'm about to dominate this P1000 joint. I'm about to be the loudest P1000 in Elevation Empire. No cap. I'm about to be the I'm about to be the newest P150, the newest P600, the newest P1000. Ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing. I'm probably gonna be the win P150 twice before you done did it once. That's how much I'm gonna dominate my lane. Because I can't move to the next lane unless I dominate this one. I can't move to P1000 until I max. I can't move to P2000 unless I max out P1. Like P1000 with the latest culture in Elevation Empire. P1000 with this going on, with that going on. P1000 doing the most events, doing the most webinars, on IG Live the most. P1000 doing more than what some chairmen do. Because I'm dominating my lane. You dominate your look, you dominate your lane until somebody either gets over. No. Forget you moving over. You dominate your lane to the point where people move out your way. You know that one joker with the big truck that be right up on you, and you feel like, bro, like this dude all up on me. He dominated his lane, and I bet you got over. But they ain't trying to hear that. Ain't no customer trying to hear that. Be the best customer. Be the best customer you can be. Be the best customer you can be. You out here, you gonna make you gonna make more money than some chairman as a customer. The whole point of chairman is not to make chairman money. That's boring. That's boring. You gonna be a chairman making chairman money. That's boring. Like, give me your spot. Give me your spot. That's what you gotta do. See, because as much as people don't want to say this is business. You can get your spot taken easily in this business. That's like trying out for varsity. That's like trying out for varsity. Not even trying out, bro. Let's say a transfer comes in game 2. If he can play better than somebody on the starting 5, I guarantee you he gonna have a seat. And the worst person gonna have to pass the sticks. I guarantee you. It's just the way it is. So are you gonna dominate your lane to the point where somebody gotta move out your way, to the point where you gonna take somebody's spot, or you gonna be comfortable where you are? How you gonna lead? How you gonna lead? And that's what he was talking about, productivity. How you gonna lead if you're not even dominant? How you gonna lead and you're not dominant? Rudy said this on a call, morning elevation. I think it was on a Sunday or something. He said, I live my life by a code of excellence. Like everything I do is excellent. And I was like, dang. I was like, and it's the fact of the matter, like, that's why I like Rudy so much. That's why people naturally gravitate towards Rudy. Is that. Is that. If Rudy ain't had nothing else, that would be enough. It's the fact that he lives his life by a code of excellence. And he is going to dominate his lane to the point where people move out his way. He gonna take somebody's spot if he have to. He gonna do it with a breeze. He gonna do it. He gonna do it in this life. But what you gonna do? You gonna be the person that moves over when the lights come shining in your rear view, or you gonna be the one shining the light in somebody else's rear view? Which one? You choose. Now, last one. Expansion. Expansion. This is the last one. All leaders must expand their leadership. And this is the importance of being a 360-degree leader. And that is the importance of knowing where you are in the network. Because guess what? You cannot effectively expand, 360 degrees and you don't even know where you are. See, you can be a P600 and you can lead your P1000, your P150, and your P600 sidelines. But you cannot do that if you do not know where you are in the network, not just position wise, but leadership wise as well. I was a customer and I was leading, P1000s, customers, P150s, P600s, 2 and 3s. And I didn't even notice though. That's why I'm telling you now, you have to know where you are in the network so that you can lead 360 degrees. You can influence 360 degrees. There is no point in leadership if you have no plans of expansion. There is no point in a conqueror getting all of these warriors together to go conquer one city. What? What? Like, imagine that. Imagine this great leader, this conqueror, he gets all of these people together to go conquer one city. We done. They're like, what? That's it? So you just gonna lead the people in your org? That's it? That's all? What's next? You gonna lead the people in your sidelines org? You gonna lead the people in your uplines org? Their uplines org? Why you think Riyadh is so big? Because he leads people below him, beside him, and above him, because he knows where he is in the org. There is no point in leadership if you have no plans of expansion. No point. There's no point in dominating your lane if you have no plans on moving to the next one. And guess what? I will leave you with this. Vision is the key to expansion, but your influence is the door that leads to its fulfillment. I'll repeat that again. Your vision is the key to expansion, but your influence is the door that leads to its fulfillment. That's it. That's it. You want to expand, you already have the map to where you need to expand to. That's why I say you need to be aware of where you are opposed to where you're going. You already know where it is that you need to go. That's just like we leaving from San Antonio going to Miami. But in order for us to get there, what we have to have? The GPS. Guess what? Guess what? We gotta have the GPS to go there. What's your GPS? Your vision. Simple. The pictures that you see up here is the destination. You already know where you are. And your vision is the key to the door. Your influence is the door to get in. And the reason why I said the influence is your door to get in is because guess what? It's not you that's going to get you to the destination. It's not you. It's your network. And that's why I really don't like the word organization. Because everybody got organizations. They got organizations for this, organizations for that. But not everybody has a network. And like I said, the people's hearts are the network. So you want to go chairman, you got to work through the hearts of your network in order to grow a team that big, in order for people to follow you. That's it. I can leave it at that. You don't go chairman by shifting paradigms. You go chairman by shifting hearts. You don't go places like C100, shifting paradigms. You go C100, shifting hearts. You don't max out. You don't hit C750, shifting paradigms. That's chump change. Get off the street can shift the paradigm. We've been shifting paradigms for years, but not a lot of people can shift hearts. Think about it. This right here, sliced bread was a shifted paradigm. We had loaves before slices, but one joker one day got a knife and he sliced the bread, and somebody was like, "Yo, you own to something," and boom, sliced bread. Somebody took, I don't even know what ink is made out of, but they put it in the little plastic. No, what they did first is they got that little sharp thing. It looked like this kind of that quill, and they got some ink and they dipped it in there and they put it to the paper and started writing. And then somebody was like, "Yo, that's crazy." When you go on TikTok, and they show you how to roll up your pants and your socks and do all this type of stuff, you be like, "Whoa, that make a lot of sense." They even got a trend about it now. What's one thing that you saw that is now a current reality? And they talk about some of the things that, shifted there. We've been shifting paradigms for years, but it seems like humanity is going backwards. That's because shifted paradigms only get you so far. Like, think about it. You don't go chairman shifted paradigms. Anybody can do that. You go chairman by shifting hearts. Last thing I'm going to say is with the expansion, you got to leave your mark. You got to leave your mark. Ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question. If you were to leave the business today, if you were to leave the business today, would people know that you were here? If people, I'm gonna leave it at that. If you were to leave the business today, would people know that you were here? Look at the name right on the Zoom right here. It should say me right by it. Look at that name. Look at the name on your ID. Look at your user ID in the back office. If you were to leave the business today, would people know that you were here? If if I I can't say no more. And this is something that I was telling my mom. And she was telling me, she was like, Marquise, I just don't get it. Even my grandma, she was like, Marquise, I just don't get it. You were never this person. You were never the person to be so gung ho. So, I was never the person to really, voice up about something that I was passionate about, because I was never really passionate about something. Not like this. This is what I was meant to do. That's why it comes so easily. Like when I be on these calls, like the only time that I have notes is when I have planned it already, so that I don't forget. See, I have this thing on my phone, my notes, because now it's like I watch the videos, I read the books, but it's just stuff like I be cutting grass, and then something just pops into my head, and I have to write it down. And sometimes I come up with whole trainings, and it just pops up in my head. Sometimes I be on calls, and something just pops up in my head, and I have to say it. But it's like you were never this person. That's why it comes so easily to me. When I'm on these calls, I do not have notes. I just do it. I should have notes. Mind you, I have to teach a lesson on Sunday. I wrote down 4 bullet points, and the paper is at home. I'm probably not even gonna look at it again until Sunday. That's how much is flowing right now. It's like you were never that person to just be so, especially when it came to Miami. Because I'm gonna be very transparent right now. I cannot afford Miami. I can't. And guess what? Yesterday I had almost a $400, you know, receipt to get my car out the shop. So now I owe. And when it was time to get the ticket for Miami, and this is something that I've been learning in the past. I was like, you know what? You got to get the ticket. You're worried about everything else later. You got to get the ticket. And mind you, I ain't even have enough money for the ticket. And KW don't know this, but I was like, yo, bro. I started to text him. I was like, yo, bro, can you spot me for the ticket? I'll cash out you the money tomorrow. Because guess what? I literally cut grass from 7, 8 a.m. to like 6 in the evening to come up with the money to buy that ticket. And what I didn't have time to do was go put it in the bank because I didn't have money on the card. And then guess what? I went to go buy the ticket. I thought it was just going, go through. Then on the way home, I would be able to, go put it in the bank and everything would be all right. I just didn't have it. And it wouldn't go through. I had to get out of line, go to the back of the line, and wait again. And I was telling her, I had to ask my grandma to put her credit card on there, and I paid her the money in cash. It's like, you were never this person. You were never this person. What? That's not smart. You worked all day for this money. How what are you gonna live on? What about this? What about that? It's like that's not smart. I said I got to get to Miami. I have to. It's not a choice. I have to. You were never this person. And that's why I say you have to leave your mark. Because I went home and my mom, she told me not to buy the ticket. But I got home and she was sitting on the couch. She said, "So you just don't want to listen, huh?" And then I said, "I got to get to Miami." And she said, "I just don't get it." She said, "You're going to spend up all your money to go to a foreign land. We can't go see about you. We can't do this. I don't know how you're going to come up with the money to get there." I say, "I don't know either, but I know I'm going to come up with it." And she said, "It's not safe. Like, you just got vaccinated. You going down there with 10,000 plus people." Exactly. You going down there with 10,000 plus people. I don't know if anything is going to happen. Then I say, "Mama, I know nothing is not going to happen. I don't know for sure, but I know. I know nothing is going to happen because what the pictures that came in here, the only way that this is going to come true is to go to places like Miami, to go to places like Dallas. That's the only way this is going to happen." And I know that God does not pull soldiers out with unfulfilled missions. The only way that he does is if they gave up. So I say, you know what? The only way this is going to happen, and mind you, I haven't even told y'all half the stuff that, exactly. Like, I got to sell my laptop to help pitch in with the van. I got to sell my laptop. Probably going to have to sell my TV. I'm going to have to cut a whole lot of grass. And I'm going to have to do a whole lot of Instacart. But we're going to make it happen. Spiking our way to I'm Millennials 3. But we're going to get it done. But I haven't even told y'all the half of what I got here. I haven't even told my mentor the half of what I got going on here in here. He don't even know some of the things that I came up with today that, I came up with as far as what I want to do in the city. But she said, I don't get it. Something could happen. We're not going to be there. I know nothing's going to happen. And I told her this. And it took a lot out of me to say this. But I said, I know nothing is going to happen to me. But let's say that it does. And this is where I'm going to end the call off. Let's say that it does. Let's say that something does happen to me. Let's say that I go to Miami and I don't come back. I'd be happy because I'd much rather die chasing my dreams, fulfilling my vision, than at home in the bed playing it safe. I'm gonna repeat that again. I said, I know nothing is gonna happen. I know nothing is gonna happen. But let's say that it does. Let's say that I go to Miami and I don't come back. I'd be happy. I'd be okay. Because I'd much rather die chasing my dreams, fulfilling my vision, than to be at home in the bed playing it safe. So with that being said, that's that's it for me. That's it. That's it. I can't wait to see y'all too. Y'all funny. Y'all real goofy. Y'all real goofy. But that's it. I know we got Arlette. I know we got a few other things going on today. Especially Rudy. Especially Rudy. See, some of y'all wasn't in Dallas. Dallas was fun. Dallas was fun. Real fun. Some of y'all wasn't even there. But You know, events are just fun, bro. I like seeing y'all. I like seeing y'all. All right, but that's enough uh with me. I'm gonna be out your way. Uh what we got at 2? At 2 o'clock, we got yo, could have sworn. Ah, I like this call. Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely, bro. most definitely. I already done told y'all I'm dominating my lane, bro. Y'all gonna hear me. But we got the power of money. Not the power of money. It's gonna be more like what to do with your money. That you make within this, your withdrawals, and things like that. You know, Miss Dominique is really gonna be going into depth with some of the things. I don't even know what she have planned, but I already know it's gonna be fire. And then 6 o'clock, I'm gonna be back. You're talking about the power of your elite, because the elite is really some sauce, bro. Like it's so much money out there. It's honestly crazy. I'm gonna be talking about the power of elite at 6 p.m. Then guess what? We back with it 9 p.m. tonight. We back with it with the EE Mastermind. The EE Mastermind is gonna be live in effect 9 p.m. I need y'all on there, bro. Last time it was honestly lit, bro. But all I gotta say is don't make no sudden movements because Miss Dominique will call you out. She's going to be hosting it, coming back at 9 p.m. If you have some value that you wanna give out, you'll have a space to speak. Um, you know what? If y'all want me to talk, let me know what y'all want to hear now, so that I so that I can at least prepare something and have that ready. But other than that, that's it, bro. That's it. Shout out to the 17 of y'all that stayed on. Um, I want y'all to go. Um, I want y'all to go because really this was just the prelude. The real sauce is tomorrow. So I want y'all to go in the EE road to 15, and I want y'all to say I need y'all on part two. I need y'all on part two. With that being said, that's it for me. About to go eat some breakfast, go cut some grass, and I'll see y'all at 6. Let's get it.